Hello and welcome to Like the Deep. If you've seen the news for 5 years now, you might have noticed a lot of buzzwords like generative AI, agentic AI, LLMs and transformer. And till today, there are all hype stuff and party tricks like writing generous emails to manager, writing poems that were catchy and went viral, generating images that never existed till today, and so many other stuff. But today we are seeing at where the intelligence is able to get into the industry. So we are able to see that teachers who are able to teach content specific to the student that they are teaching to. We are able to see lawyers who are able to take precedents from 20,000 pages under minutes. We are able to see doctors who are able to do drug discovery within seconds and save millions of lives just because they are able to emulate things faster. We are able to see people who are coding websites and a lot of product solutions in like a few days, which took years and things together. We are able to see architects who could convert 2D diagrams into 3D images and render the entire thing and making their work faster. We are able to see mechanics who could do oil changes within minutes by the help of Gemini Live. We are able to also see a lot of other stuff where it is impacting the industry and enhancing the way that the person is able to do the job. Therefore, this is the car. This is like a car. It's able to help you to take you through the world. So with the car, you need to know how to drive. You don't need to know the workings of it. Similarly, to use an LLM, you need to know how to drive an LLM, that is using an LLM. But you don't need to know the internal workings of the LLM to use an LLM. So in this course, that is LLM4All, we are going to learn how to use LLMs to drive it. That is to use it in your field and enhance yourself so that you can make yourself ready for 2026. For decades now, programming and coding was a daunting task because you need to understand the computer's language. You need to understand Python, that is its syntax and its structure. You need to understand object-oriented programming, you need to understand functional programming and many other things depending on what the work you want to do. Now, fast forward to today, none of that is required. All you need is to have a concrete idea of what you want. And you just have to give it to the LLM, and the LLM will give the output of the right language that you want. And you can just copy and then paste it into an IDE, or better, the LLM just directly writes into the IDE and you execute it, and it just works like that. This has just broken the barrier that the programming had. It makes programming accessible to anybody and everybody in the world who is able to use the tool called LLM to convert their natural language query, that is their idea, into code. Now, to really use this LLM in order to create beautiful and working apps, you need to really know how to use the LLM as a tool. Now, definitely LLM had a very good impact on the coding domain. It just changed how people code. It made the best ideas into the best solutions within minutes, and it just democratized coding to everybody. Now, let's take a domain where technology was not inherently a part of. For example, teaching. Technology hasn't been a part of teaching until very recently upon the rise of Udemy and Udacity and the likes of them. But now, let's take a scenario from before, how teachers had to struggle with the problem, and let's take the solution. Before, teachers had to really provide the same content to everybody in the class. If there were 30 people in the class, they had to provide the same content regardless of what interest each person had. So, for example, a person was interested in dinosaurs and you are talking about sharing and caring. The content can be related to dinosaurs so that the kid can interestedly understand whatever is required for him. Now, today in the world of LLMs, you can really tailor the content to each and every kid in the class. That is, 30 of them see 30 different contents tailored to them. But the effort that's taken to generate 30 different content, books or any other material is very less, because you just need to prompt your LLM and give out the interests of 30 people, and that's it. Your content has been tailored to every single person in the class, and they learn the best way that they can, and the teacher is also satisfied that she has been the best teacher that she can for the entire class. Now, the LLM that helped the teacher did not replace the teacher herself. but instead it scaled her empathy to millions of students or those who attend her class. Now it made the cost of personalization come down to zero. Now let's look at the business side of things. Today everybody is an entrepreneur, but being an entrepreneur is slightly difficult because each entrepreneur has his core skill and he is very good at that, but he is not necessarily that good at marketing or business per se. So let's take an artist. He's very good at doing the art that he's capable of doing, but for him to sell the art, he need to place it in certain kind of conditions, certain lighting, certain positions, and show it as a vintage art. So many things that exist in that field, but he may not have the resources to afford such kind of place or a studio of that kind or a camera of that kind. Lot of hardware is required for that, lot of procurement cost is required for that. But let's say today with the help of generative AI, he's able to create images that never existed before. So he's able to create an image that looks vintage with dull lighting, that enhances his art form in the middle and puts bright lighting around it, puts the focus on it with yellow lights around, with neon glow around it, lot of different stuff which would literally put a catchy image of his product and make it sell well. Now this didn't replace the artist, instead it gave him the power of literally what billions dollar organizations like IKEA and other art organizations have for very few pennies. It's basically democratized the art of selling, which is a very good skill that you can get for free. Now let's go to my favorite example, the mechanic. A mechanic is literally repairing his BMW car. Now BMW have been known for doing weird placements here and there, that is placing their oil filters in such a way and making their screws tuned for a certain period of time and certain torque. So there is a lot of specifics when it comes to BMW. Now if it's a normal mechanic, he had to read through a lot of manual pages, lot of articles in order to really repair the car without causing any damage. Now let's see the video. He just uses Gemini Live, points it to the things that he has, points it to the car and gets the information from it. Gemini Live literally says, oh, this is the placement of the oil filter. Remove it using this wrench. Remove it using this filter. Remove it, place the filter back in. Before placing the filter back in, use this pick and that pick. Use this tool, that tool. First clean the filter, place the oil rings and etc. Now this really is something called democratization of specifics. That is, basically there are special skills like mechanic, there are special skills like electricians, basic electronics and stuff that you do around your house. Now it has completely able to democratize it to anybody who you want. Basically, if you have got a tire flat, take your Gemini Live, ask it to point it to your toolbox, get the right wrench, untie the screw, get the wheel out, replace the wheel, tie the screw back, ask it to the exact spec, do till that, ask it whether it's correct, put it back in. This is this flow that you're looking at. You don't need to really drive it into a perfect garage and then hope that he does the best job. It's all up to you and you can do it the best because you have the best tool with you. In departments like electrical engineering and lot of other departments and lot of other fields, you get tasks that are mundane and things that you have to look throughout for errors that are really wrong and really complex, and a lot of scenarios are involved. Now in this scenario, in this kind of use cases, the user might get tired and might miss out on errors that could have been easily spotted, but LLMs act as a second pair of eyes and never miss an error that might easily be spotted. So basically you are making your task easier by first passing it to the LLM and asking for the errors that easily can be spotted, and then working your way through the tasks that can be worked using your expertise. So you are saving time at the same time, not missing out on any errors that can be easily spotted, and you are essentially making your work fast and enhancing your way to do it. Now comes to my next favorite solution. When it comes to law, it's all about memory. You need to know the literal history of like 20 20 to 30 years in order for you to do the current case. Basically, that is called the law of precedence. So you take a case that is similar to a case that is occurring today in order to come to the solution. Therefore, you need to read through a lot of papers and the judgments and a lot of technicalities related to the form of law. Now, this is a lot of tax on your brain, and it's going to really make you forget something here and there. And few things that you forget may be really important in saving a client. Now, when it comes to LLM, memory is infinite, literally. So it can do RAG on. That RAG means retrieval augmented generation. That is a methodology that it can retrieve memory and then understand from the corpus that you have given, and then rightfully get the detail that really you need for that scenario and for that case. Now it's going to really, from the mess of papers that you have, going to get the specific detail where it contains the specific precedent for your case without any hassle. Now this is going to save hours and hours, if not weeks and months, of the lawyer, and it's going to make the lawyer going to be precise, and it's going to make him get the best outcome for his client that he has to get. Now let's come to the rapid fire round. In finance, it's going to help make the transactions more secure by detecting the fraudulent transaction by just the timing and the other things related to it. Instead of having a very specific neural network that is trained just on those kind of data, is going to have the world data on for the transaction, and it's going to see all kinds of parameters and different parameters and judge that whether it's a fraud or not. Now when it comes to agriculture, it's able to really see through as you saw in the mechanics video, it's able to see and identify portions which are really bad for the plant, and if needed it can be trimmed or cut, and it can identify which is a weed, which is not a weed, very accurately, and then make you pluck the weed out easily. Now when it comes to architecture, it's able to convert some 2D diagrams sketches into 3D models that you can view through, and then you can really understand in depth, so that you can construct the building in real life without constructing in real life. That is, you save the cost of errors in real life. So it has been very drastic in the form of architecture too. Let's continue on. Let's see pharma, that is pharmaceuticals. In pharmaceuticals, it's able to do unprecedented things at like very less time. It's able to do drug discovery, which used to take billions of dollars in investment and a lot of time, that is like decades of years. And we still didn't know whether the thing that the discovery that the drug had was effective or not. Now with LLM, you can simply do the entire research or entire simulation in minutes, and you can see whether the thing is effective or not. Tools like AlphaFold help you to identify small differences in things that are cellular level and protein level research, and this is going to save a lot of time and a lot of investment. There is no need of a microscope anymore. There is no need of a hi-fi lab where you go and test, and there is no need of a cold storage which you have to store the entire stuff in for tens and hundreds of years. There is no need of you to test on stuff like rats or other organisms. There is no need to harm anybody, or there is no risk for anybody in order to try the new medicine, because it has already been tested, that is by the LLM, and you already scientifically know that the drug is going to perform with the synthetic benchmarks and synthetic evals that are coming up right now. So this has completely made the entire research landscape of the pharmaceuticals very safe and very cost effective, thereby making the medicines also very cheap, and it's going to affect the lives of millions of people for the better. Now see, let's go into gaming scene. Like, it's going to make NPCs intelligent, so your NPCs will be acting intelligently as you are going to interact with them. So if you go to them and take a sword, it's going to say, hey, don't come close or I'll shoot you. If you go and give it a bouquet of flowers, it's going to say, hey, I love you too. So it's going to act as based on you are going to act, and it's going to act without having any pre-written rules. So the game is going to behave as you play it for yourself. So the game doesn't need to be coded as different scenarios. Instead, it's going to be defined by you. So this is where gaming is going to really get really interesting, and it's going to change the landscape in games. Now coming to accessibility, is going to help the blind and the deaf to make their lives more easier by using vibration motors or other helps for the deaf, and using real time audio conversion for the blind to help them read and write in things ways that they would never have imagined before, and making them one among the human beings. That is the goal. So it is going to make the lives better for all kinds of people who are challenged in one way or the other. Now for HR is going to make the lives easy. It's also going to make the lives easy for students like us too, where the resume gets evaluated by the LLM for the skills that you have, and for the technologies that you know, and for the role that they are going to offer to you. Now instead of having a monotonous checker like ATS, which most companies around the world use, you can use LLMs in order to really go through millions of resumes and pick the best candidate for you, and the candidate also feels that he has been rightly chosen for the place. Now when it comes to supply chain, it's going to really transform the scenario by choosing the optimal path. As we see with DLH, it's going to choose the best path, and then it's going to route the traffic through that way, and saving you millions of dollars by optimizing the path in seconds before the package is going to be delivered, and for the time, with regards to the political landscape, with regards to the traffic, with regards to the environment, with regards to a lot of other parameters, it's going to take in and give you the best solution for it. And similarly, if you come and see, finally now we are going to come to the place that actually ChatGPT and LLMs were built for: translation. So they were actually built to translate text in the best way form possible. Now they are able to do that in such a way and such accuracy, and pertaining to different slangs and different ways of pronunciation of English or any other language pertaining. So it's able to adapt to such kind of nuances across languages that it's able to feel native to every person in the world. So it's making information accessible all across the world, even though it's not in English. So this is something that has actually transformed the world, and is the most underrated feature of the transformer. So till now we have seen the use cases and the applications of transformers and LLMs in real life. But let's come up to one thing. It's not as fun to learn linear algebra and really to go in depth with what the LLM is made of for you to really use it. It's very tough for all of us to understand what it's really made of and how to really rebuild it or things like that and research on it. But it's not really required for you to know such kind of advanced mathematics in order to really use it. All you need to know is to really drive the car. You don't need to know how to build the car. Similarly, you just need to know how to use the LLM using the different methods like prompt engineering, changing parameters like top P, temperature, all different kinds of stuff that we'll be going into detail later. So this is the course where we are going to try and teach you how to really use an LLM the best way that you can for the field you work in and the job you do, and it's going to make your life enhanced and easier, and going to make sure that you do better things and achieve better goals by the time of it. And that's how we made LLM4All. This course consists of 5 modules. In each module you are going to see a specific thing, and it is going to have both theory and it's going to have practical sessions. So in module 1 you are going to see how the LLM is going to work. In module 2 you are going to see how to handle context, that is the memory of the LLM. In module 3 you are going to see how to really use RAG, that is RAG in the sense giving your documents to the LLM and making it get answers from that. And in module 4 you are going to give the agents hands, that is you are going to use agents and make it use the browser, make it get results from the internet and use tools that you have defined. And in module 5 you are going to make sure how to get the LLM to offline, that is you are going to make the LLM work offline. So that is in a private and secure environment that you trust. So across these 5 modules, you would have learned how to really use your LLM for your use case completely and independently on your own, and you would be able to take the best and given knowledge and the best decisions for your use case given your scenario. Now hope you convinced that the LLM is actually for all, and welcome to the course.